Well, hey, season 17 of Apex is here. Ballistic now on the roster. So I want to go ahead and check out to see what sling weapon we ought to be using for this guy. All right, so with Ballistic, his ultimate and his passive go so well together. They're like two peas in a pod. That is the synergy that we're talking about in this video. So let's check out what weapons are on the list. Okay, for option number one, the R99. Now this weapon is already my favorite as a primary weapon to use, but when you attach this sucker as a sling weapon and then give it that boost with Tempest, dear God, step out of the way. Because not only are you not having to worry about your ammo being burned through, with the faster reload time, you can really output a lot of DPS on your enemies. So this is a no-brainer for a sling weapon. All right, so option number two on the list is the Rampage. Now hold on. I am already feeling some of the hate. Now hear me out before writing me off here. I know that this has not been a classic meta pick weapon, but you cannot deny the value that you get from this when you get it boosted with the thermite. And the wonderful part about Tempest is that this Rampage comes pre-boosted. So if you're willing to agree with me that a boosted Rampage is a force to be reckoned with, then it is an obvious contender on the list of sling weapons. And now we are at option number three, which is the RE45. Now, why is it that this weapon is beneficial as a sling weapon? Well, simply because it has the hammer point attachment. So when you boost this up with Tempest, you are now reaping the benefits of using hammer point when melting your opponents. Now you should be picking up on a common thread here. We're looking at a lot of guns that really maximize benefit when they have all the attachments, especially the hop-ups. Because really when you're comparing the RE45 to say the R99 or the car or even the Volt, the RE45 is just objectively worse when comparing them bare bones without attachments. But of course, having the RE45 with hammer point, it has to be on the list. And now coming in strong at option number four is a greatly underestimated weapon in general. But when used as a sling, this actually has a faster time to kill than the R301, than the Flatline, and we're talking about the Havoc, of course. Now tell me if this scenario sounds familiar to you at all, or if it's just me. But you pick up a Havoc, you have a dream, you have an aspiration to be able to one day get a turbocharger for that sucker, and you end up never finding one. Well, rest assured now with Ballistic, that is no longer an issue. You put this sucker as a sling weapon, you now have a turbocharged Havoc in your back pocket. Now this gun is easily one of my favorite weapons to use as Ballistic sling weapon. The Havoc disintegrates at medium range, close range hip fire, a little rough at longer distances, but overall, what a fantastic gun to have with you. And it would just be an apex sin to not put this on the list. And now we are to the last gun on the list, option number five, the Devotion. This unwieldy beast has not really been a particular favorite of mine to pick up just as a normal weapon. It really is tough to control with the recoil, let's be honest. And again, as we mentioned with the Havoc, it is tough to find that turbocharger laying around at times. But using the Devotion as a sling weapon, it really almost seems unfair. I mean, let's just look at the facts here. You have a similar time to kill as the R99, you have a magazine size of an LMG, and you don't have to use an entire backpack full of energy ammo. So as long as you're going to the firing range and really dialing in with that recoil, this is probably the best gun you can use as a sling weapon in my opinion. I hope you've been enjoying Ballistic as much as I have. It's been such a great time to just experiment with some of the sling weapons that he can use, and if you agree with my list or you disagree, or maybe you just have a preference of a sling weapon you love to use, please go ahead and put it in the comments below. And I would so much appreciate if you found any value in this video at all, to go ahead and give it a like, boost it in the YouTube algorithm, and then of course subscribe for more future content. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you next time.